Why? What's next? Mike Tyson comes back to fight a cheetah, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm putting money on the cheetah." Of course, you're going to put money on the cheetah. Can't outbox a cheetah. If you haven't seen the Mike Tyson video from recently, well, using the powers of magic, I'm going to click my fingers, and you're going to see it. I mean, that is absolutely unreal. Like, and I get it. I understand. The counterpoint straight away is, well, Simon, anybody can look good in front of parents. Bullshit. Bullshit. You've either got it or you don't. And I also understand that training with a good mitt man is completely different from having an actual fight. But it just, to me, ties into the infamy, if that's the right word we can use, around about Mike Tyson. And obviously this then led to the conversation, is he going to come back for a real fight? He's already said he's going to come back and do some exhibitions, which he has done in the past. I think in like the mid-2000s, 2005, 2006, he did some exhibition fights. And really, exhibition fights are whatever you want them to be, right? Like, you can discuss with your opponent beforehand. There's no real competitive edge aside from the competitive edge that's in the individuals. But yeah, as a massive boxing fan, I've seen this rhetoric going around the internet saying, oh, should Mike Tyson come back and should he not come back? And really, I think we're going... I think it's just creating news for the sake of news. I don't think he's going to say he wants to fight Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua or anybody else, even somebody lower down the card like now, like, well, whoever. Pick whoever you want. But the interesting part of all of it, we'll start as in my own crazy way. As long as all the health precautions and safety are put into place, do I want to see Mike Tyson come back and do some exhibition fights? Absolutely, especially because Evander Holyfield, who was that? Evander Holyfield, who is also in his 50s, has also come out and said, oh, I'll come back to do some charity exhibitions too. This has to, it's either a PR stunt or we are going to get Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson 3, 4, however many it will be. And look, if you don't want to see that and you're a boxing fan, and I'm sure there are some, you're a stronger man than me. Or a woman, because I would pay the money. I would pay the money to watch it on pay-per-view. I justify it even more so if it was for charity. The sheer intrigue of seeing that would be amazing. And again, I get it. Watching a 30-second clip where Mike Tyson is smashing some mitts is not the same as getting in a ring or a boxing ring, whatever, and taking on another person that is trying to punch your head off. And I think if you put him in there against someone like Dillian Whyte, for example, Dillian Whyte in 2020 would probably wreck Mike Tyson because you can't get away from age. Age will always sneak up and kick your ass. That's what age does. I mean, George Foreman came out the other day, or maybe it was an old interview. It's just, again, it was thrown in front of my eyes, and said that even Muhammad Ali had said to him, that Mike Tyson, man, that's a scary dude. I'd be scared of him if I entered the ring. Now, he was obviously talking about Mike Tyson becoming the youngest world heavyweight champion ever when he was barely 20 years old. But the other conversation is, does it tarnish his legacy? We're going to ruin Mike Tyson's legacy. And I thought actually there's a conversation in that, because you get that in all sports, especially pro wrestling. And if you're a fan of this channel, you know how much I like pro wrestling. And the Undertaker The Last Ride documentary is on the network at the moment, and I would implore you to go and watch that. And that's what wrestling fans have said for years. Oh, The Undertaker has ruined his legacy. Like when Shawn Michaels came back and did those Saudi Arabia matches, and everyone said, oh, he's ruined his legacy. Bret Hart, Ric Flair. We could do this all day. We won't bother. Although I will say Stone Cold Steve Austin, somebody that never did that. And I don't buy into that whatsoever. I mean, maybe you can decide that they've ruined their own legacy from your eyes, which is not a thing. But to me, as soon as you have something, you have it. Now, if you go out and do something absolutely horrendous in your personal life, or you perform some kind of atrocity, then yes, that will affect your legacy, because, you know, crime or some terrible thing you've done always outweighs sport. Sport is not as important. That's a huge debate going on in the world right now with the global pandemic nonsense. But outside of that, I just completely disagree. It's the same with movies. Like, you know, the original Star Wars movies compared to the prequels that came out in the early 2000s. Everyone's like, oh, we've now ruined the Star. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. When it comes to Mike Tyson, you know, the things that took Mike Tyson away from being the superstar that he was were all the controversies that he had in the midst of his career. Like, that was the thing that derailed it, because people started talking about that as opposed to what he was doing in the ring, as they should have done. These were very serious accusations and they had to be sorted out. But if Mike Tyson comes back now to do some exhibition fights, surely it's just a great window for you to go and watch some of his matches on YouTube, or go and watch, when he was surprised knocked out, and all of these things that happened throughout the years. That's an incredible story as well. If you go and, read about when he did get knocked out by Buster Douglas, and how Buster Douglas just apparently, no one believed in him. No one believed in him whatsoever, and the odds against him were just so crazy. It was like betting on Mike Tyson fighting a shadow. It was just like, well, the shadow can't move. The shadow barely even exists. He's going to kick his ass. I find that amazing as well, because Buster Douglas never, instead of Buster Douglas going on to become this huge boxing heavyweight in his own right, he just became Mike Tyson's Achilles heel. Like, it's such a weird thing to be. You achieve something so amazing, but the story isn't you win. The story is Mike Tyson lost. But yeah, I don't believe that at all. I don't think you can tarnish your legacy. I think once you've built something up, and once something is there and it's a tangible thing that people can hold on to, and especially in 2020 that people can go back and watch whenever the hell they want, it's there. And it's there for all to see. There's so many different accounts of people going on too long. Of course there is, especially in professional wrestling, because you are able to do that given given what it is, right? It's not a quote-unquote real sport. There's a certain amount of cooperation there. So yeah, when you are over 50, as The Undertaker is, for example, there are ways and means that you can operate within a wrestling ring and everything would be all right. It's completely different in authentic combat sports because someone is trying to knock your head off, but that's not what exhibition fights are. I mean, they're still furiously fought because of the people in the ring. And that's why I've done MMA training and boxing training, but I could never take it to the next level because I don't have that killer instinct. It's just not there. That's something you're born with. And that's how most of the best fighters in the world act when they get in the ring. They're like, I'm going to kill that guy. And it's just good that there's a referee in between us because he'll stop me from doing it. That doesn't exist. That doesn't exist within me. And I think that's why it's such a visceral sport to watch, be that boxing or UFC or MMA or whatever, kickboxing, because that's what you're seeing two dudes doing. And for some reason, this is 100% okay. But I think Mike Tyson at this stage, if nothing else, let's say he does one exhibition fight. Wouldn't you just want to see how realistic that video was compared to what he could do in the ring? And even if it does turn out to be a PR stunt, so what? So what? Being able to see him do that was amazing. I watched it about 10 times. I'm referencing the clip we showed earlier. I just laughed. I was like, man, that is unbelievable. The power, the speed, the quickness, that's what impresses me at 53 years old. Obviously he's not as quick and powerful as he was when he was in his mid-20s. But I think what I find fascinating about people like that is they were just born with this intangible quality, this intangible skill, and it was down to them whether they were going to work on it or not, or whether they had the passion to see it through. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't push yourself and you don't apply yourself, then you may never get anywhere. But I love it. I love the rawness. I love the rawness on it. And for my money, hell yeah, let Mike Tyson come back. As long as we put everything in place. Not in a proper fight. Again, not for any belts or anything like that. Just exhibition charity things where things are taken care of. And I don't think it affects anything else. The same with Evander Holyfield. The same with Lennox Lewis, who is my favorite boxer ever. I love Lennox Lewis. If he wanted to come back and throw some bones, I'd be happy to throw my 20 quid or whatever it was at the television set and just see what he could do. I don't think Lennox Lewis will do this. He seems a bit more balanced than Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson. The only worry about Evander Holyfield is sometimes I see interviews with him and he seems a little bit, I hate the term, but it's what people use, punch drunk. And the last thing he needs is to be punched in the head a little bit more. But if 2020, probably not. If next year we see Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield, I can't help myself. It was like when we did Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, right? It was stupid on so many levels, but I was just fascinated by the fact that we had allowed this to happen for the sake of entertainment. It was like gladiators and the Romans used to do. Let's just throw people in a pit and see what the hell happens. There was someone else that was rumored to make a crossover the other day, and now I can't remember who the hell it was, but I remember thinking, what are you doing? What's next? Mike Tyson comes back to fight a cheetah, and everyone's like, oh yeah, man, I'm putting money on the cheetah. Of course you're going to put money on the cheetah. Can't outbox a cheetah. That wouldn't make any sense either way. His legacy will be fine, depending even what... I mean, look, he's a controversial character anyway, so maybe his legacy has already been tarnished, but let's say Lennox Lewis does it. I don't think it tarnishes somebody's legacy. I just don't. And also, you have to put yourself in their shoes. This is especially with The Undertaker after watching that documentary. It must suck to have a bunch of people going, he should retire, he should give up. No matter what your job is. Imagine you're a data entry guy and somebody pops up behind your screen and goes, you should retire. Be like, flub you, man. I'm just trying to do my job. Because also, once you do hang it up, I mean, you can come back, but that's a hard decision to make. Think about what you love doing most in the world, and then people were yelling at you to stop doing it anymore. You would kind of get your back up, and you would fight back. And that's why, if The Undertaker wants to continue fighting on until he's 65, he's past his peak now. I don't really mean that disrespectfully. That's just life. But if he wants to carry on doing that till then, all right, cool, fair enough. As long as you're happy. You've given me so many memories, I'm going to leave the memories alone. And yes, that is a Ric Flair reference. Don't know why I wanted to talk about this today. I've just been watching that clip over and over and engaging with some people on it online and getting different opinions. I thought, hey, I can make a video about this. I never do stuff like this, so why the hell not? Let's tap into the topical world. Yeah, but Mike Tyson, if he comes back, great. Doesn't affect his legacy for me, and I would enjoy it and I would buy for it. So yes, I'm part of the problem. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to my channel. I'd massively appreciate that. I've got a Patreon too. You can check it out in the description below. More importantly though, watch some more videos. Come and join the Simon Miller crazy train wagon of fun, whatever that is. I'll see you soon.